The grass is always greener on the other side. It's something we hear all the time from when we're young to when we're old. The idea that there's something better than what you already have and that there's greener, better change right there and right on the other side, seemingly teasing you to make the switch, seems so simple. And yet, a lot of the times, people ask if the grass is really greener, or if this is just a quick and easy way to change your mindset. However, ever since I've been a kid, I've looked at this phrase to mean something completely different. For me, it's never been about the fact that the grass was ever any different on the other side, nor was it any greener than the grass that I was already on. But rather, it was a matter of perspective, and maybe the other side had less trees blocking the sun, and more light could come down, and the grass just looked greener, brighter, and better. But like with many things in life, what really matters is how you perceive the things to be, and that same mindset that you go into things with. Perception is something that is very important when it comes to history, and especially when it comes to what survives over years and years. During the harsh periods of colonialization, the people being oppressed often had bleak perspectives, and yet these perspectives are what allowed them to keep their cultures alive and eventually survive all through these harsh periods of colonialization. In both Patricio Guzman's The Pearl Button and Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness, colonialism is painted in two different ways from two very different perspectives. The first comes in the form of a film, which gives a perspective of history's losers and the true stories of what history books will not tell. The latter comes from a European author, Joseph Conrad, whose intense depictions of colonialism and racist, these sentiments that are often shown hand in hand, have lended him to harsh criticism, even to this day. Both authors depict clear pictures of colonialism and its effects on people and cultures, and both in their own way directly show the dangers of colonialism, whether it be through the establishment of a superiority complex based on skin color and nationality, or if it's the destruction of a peaceful and beautiful people. The different ideas from the different points of view ultimately create the differences in which scholars base their arguments on, when, in fact, there is only one true view of colonialism and one that both books share. That view is one that is racially charged and creates an indignant system in which white Europeans take control of indigenous peoples throughout the world. The indigenous Patagon people of Chile have looked beyond what has happened and are not angry or vengeful, but rather do all they can to keep their beloved culture alive and continuing. This view that the colonizers and colonialism was merely a mistake and something that people did before they knew the full repercussions of is an immensely interesting idea. This perspective of acceptance and forgiveness in the modern day has allowed numerous cultures to revive themselves after these bleak colonial relations. These perspectives are what give previously colonized cultures a very ambitious and lighthearted sense of kindness shared via their common perceptions of the wrongdoings against them. In Heart of Darkness, however, instead of seeing a need for colonization or a reasoning behind it, Joseph Conrad merely presents reasoning and logic behind how racially charged ideas from Europe eventually conclude superiority over people in Africa. These differing views of colonialism show the different mindsets of different peoples from around the world. The European perception was that since they had created society that they believed was more advanced, and they believed that they held more knowledge than the indigenous peoples of other parts of the world, that they were doing them a favor by bringing modern technology and salvation to them. This wrong perception of other peoples, especially those who had shared cultures and have different skin colors, is something that has really hampered European progress throughout history and created numerous conflicts while at the same time created a racially charged European undertone of superiority. The view from Chile and the view of the losers is a very forgiving and accepting one that looks to the future rather than the past, and this view presented in Heart of Darkness.